This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com. Just literally getting in the door from Toronto, where I've been the past couple of days on a TV acting job, which was really fun. NXT did a 0.14 rating last night, which was actually up for NXT. According to Tony Khan, the head of AEW, their Double or Nothing pay-per-view did 155,000 pay-per-view buys, and I believe that's one of their big pay-per-views. If I don't know if it's their WrestleMania, but I believe it is their WrestleMania. AEW World Champion CM Punk had surgery on his lower leg, and they are not specifying what the surgery was, but it was deemed a success, and that surgery took place today, according to the Wrestling Observer. And Tony Khan apparently explained why he chose to go with an interim world champion instead of having CM Punk vacate the title. He said, quote, "Based on what happens in real fights, and to me, in the world of fighting, this is what you do. You have a great champion, and if they're injured, you name an interim champion and set up an exciting unification fight." End quote. Well, based on real fighting, CM Punk would not be the world champion of anything, because the guy beating him up here was another 0-1 fighter that was supposed to be a jobber for his second match and had one of the most embarrassing UFC displays in history in that fight. And he was decimated in his first fight. So, based on real fighting, to make a guy who had embarrassing performances in real fighting your champion is just silly, in my opinion. But my dad's not a billionaire, so your dad's a billionaire and will allow you to run a wrestling company. Good for you. This was another funny statement. Freddie Prinze Jr., who for the longest time I thought was a guy from American Pie, but apparently he's not. He's from Scooby-Doo, which I've never seen and have no interest in seeing because it's a kid's movie. And I don't like animation movies either, which I believe it's a mix of animation and real people. Did an interview where he said Kevin Owens is very underutilized by WWE, and he feels that Kevin Owens should be playing in major storylines all the time and should be always facing top guys. You do realize, Freddie Prinze Jr., that on numerous occasions, Kevin Owens has been in featured matches in all-time record low Raws, which shows you that people don't care about him. The smart marks might not care that he looks like the Burger King or Wendy's fry guy, but to your average sports fan or your UFC fan or boxing fan, they don't want to watch a fat guy in shorts and a t-shirt pretend to fight. The whole fun of wrestling used to be these larger than life characters, and people always say, well, Bam Bam Bigelow was fat and Mick Foley was fat and Vader was fat. How are they any different than Kevin Owens? Vader is massive. He's like 6'5", just a monstrous guy. And trust me, I met him. If you saw him walking on the street at night, you'd cross sides. Mick Foley is another guy. He's not 5'10" like Kevin Owens. He's like 6'2" or 6'3", with crazy hair. Was a larger than life character. Bam Bam Bigelow was like 400 and something pounds. Kevin Owens fat, but he's not like 400 pounds superhuman fat. He's beer gut fat. So anyways, I just find that funny. Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos. And while you're at it, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Hannibal TV.